911 location of your emergency.
Breaking news out of North Idaho. Moscow police are investigating a homicide on King Road.
Is she breathing?
No.
So 5'10", all black. Could you see what color his eyebrows were or anything like that?
No, I don't remember what his eyes look like either.
Officers discovered the bodies of Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Maddie Mogen, and Kaylee Goncalves, but no weapon has been located at this time.
Arrested. That's 28-year-old Bryan Kohberger in custody today.
The chauffeur allegedly stalked one of the victims. That's false.
We do not have evidence that the defendant had direct contact with 1122 or with residents of 1122, but we can put his phone in that area. There are many residences in that area. It's a dense population of mostly college-related occupants.
Everything is alleged. Hello. Forgot to press the little button. Happy Monday. How is everyone doing? Put this phone on mute so it doesn't go crazy. And I forgot to put my mascara on, so my eyes are going to look funny because there's other stuff on them and then they look naked. So I'm going to do this real quick. How's everyone doing so far on this crazy Monday? How's everybody doing? You always do, and you always get, he always gets so mad. He always gets so fake mad. Yeah, Connor has dropped a shit ton of new interviews. Yeah, Kohberger had a like an Android phone. Lots of interviews. One of them is really interesting. The Kaylee McConkey one. In that interview, she says something, and I listened to it in passing, so I don't know exactly what it is. Where she's saying that she got this from. It could either be Dylan or Bethany, I guess. I don't know. But in Kaylee McConkey's, she said something about Xana being asleep at some point, like before the original time frame, which is the very opposite of the way that everyone else has described that situation, because they can't tell us when Xana got home. They can't give us any information whatsoever. And Bethany and Dylan both say that they aren't aware of Xana and Ethan being home. Hippler said in one of his orders that they were not home, even though they ended up ordering a DoorDash at 2:15, and the rest of the house was trying to get a hold of Eric in order to do some sort of like go back and get food or whatever, even though the two food instances happened so close together that apparently they had nothing to do with each other, which honestly doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It really just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. There's so many things in here that just make no sense. I'm not understanding it. I don't know. So we're going to be going through those interviews over the past, over the next week. I have had to restructure the way that I wanted to actually do the week, because I realized when I was putting my schedule together that I wasn't counting for the fact that not only do we have these expert reports that we need to go through, but we also have like 4 interviews from Connor's channel. He has Caleb Jacobson, Sophie Whitehead, Kaylee McConkey, and today he premiered Tim DeWolf. It's a lot. Plus, we still have expert reports that we're going through. We still got to finish the broken plea book. There's a lot. So I'm going to try, because y'all know how like on Tuesdays and Thursdays I'm off. So I'm going to try to do like 3 shorter lives on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I mean, that's what I'm going to hope and try to do, at least until those like little interviews are caught up and like some of the smaller stuff is caught up. So I'm hoping to actually be live at 9:45 tomorrow morning, either 9:45 or 10:15 tomorrow morning. And then the second live, I want to do Caleb Jacobson's interview review at like 1:45 p.m. And there's 2 parts, but the first part really is like a nothing thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to review them both together, which we don't ever do. We normally separate them, but I don't feel the need to separate the Caleb Jacobson one. So then tomorrow night, I want to finally finish the Cy-Ray review, because we went almost 6 hours because there's a lot to say. And we only got halfway through a 3.5-hour interview. We got about an hour and 45 minutes into raw time. Now, I will say something. I did go and watch the two girls and Ron over on Andrew, the lawyer's channel. I want to know what Sai showed them. And I recorded a couple different pieces that were said, and we're going to talk about it in a separate thing. But one very particular, and if they've already done this, let me go to the bottom of this right here. If the Custody Queens channel has already done this, then let me know in the chat. But they said that Sai saying that he had stuff mapped out was not the first time. Like, him saying it on the live was not the first time they heard it, because they had talked to him before. And Ron very specifically said that Sai even pulled up a map and showed them specific spots that he had mapped himself, including a portion where he says that he can show that Kohberger stopped next to a body of water, not as far south as law enforcement has thought, which would mean that it would have to be somewhere in between the Pullman-Moscow like horizontal line on the map, and Snake River, which is down by Lewiston, because he said it wasn't that far down. So I would really love to know, Kristen, Sam, Ron, for the sake of the community, regardless of anything and who's asking, can you please show us what Sai showed you and pull up a map, and for as best as you can remember, show us those places that you're talking about? This was over on the Andrew Myers channel. Some of you guys had told me that they had gone over there and done like an aftermath breakdown of where, let me actually go find, I'll give you all the link real quick. They had done an aftermath breakdown of the interview, and Ron says this. I have it recorded, and I'll play the little bit for you right here where he says it when I pull up their live. Because this is like important. Like if he pulled up a map and showed you this stuff and you can't show it to us, why are you out here telling us that he did it? You know, like I really wish that when this interview was happening with them on the Andrew Myers channel, that once Ron said that, Andrew would have been like, I'm sorry, can I pull up a map? Can you share your screen and tell me what it was that he showed you? Because to me, that's like a big deal. If Sai claims that he has this, like, you know, this information. Let me pull it up. Hold on. Because he keeps acting like everything that the cops have is wrong but right at the same time, which makes no freaking sense. And he's claiming that everything that he has is farther north than what law enforcement actually claims that it is, which is crazy enough in itself. So I guess instead of like just talking about this separately, I'll just clip this and put it out like by itself, because this is something that I was going to talk about separately, because this is kind of crazy, you know? Let me see. Let's see. River. Okay. So here is the, and I'll finish my mascara as it's playing. Here's the link to where the video is, and then we'll listen to this little piece right here real quick so you guys know what I'm talking about. Because like this was pretty interesting. So let's see, it starts up here. Okay. He believes he took a westerly route. Because Ron talks for like a while. Let me see how far it goes back. Okay, right here. Okay, this is where he says it. It's at timestamp 25:15 is where Ron states this. So this is where I'm going to play this right here.
Yeah, he told us when we talked to him before, and this we didn't really go into it in as much detail yesterday, but he actually kind of traced. He believes that when Kohberger left his apartment, he went north a little bit and through some back roads, private roads that did not have cameras on them, which is why there's not a lot of video evidence of where he actually went, and that he went up around Moscow and then came down on the east side. But you don't have the data because he turned his phone off, but that's where he believed he went. He actually did kind of trace that through with us. And then afterwards, what he alleges.
But notice he just said, but they really don't have that data because they allege he turned his phone off. So even though Cyray is out here spreading this map and spreading this rhetoric, he's still also claiming, oh, but his phone was turned off, so we really can't map it. See how that's also like a little confusing? So I guess he's trying to say, like, once the phone was turned back on, but you also need to remember that the report that we just got says there was a navigation system that was also activated.
Is his phone turned on someplace down south, but he believes he took a westerly route that isn't as far south as what the law enforcement says he did. And he claims that there's a place where he seemed to stop for a little while, which Cy opined to us may be where he got rid of the weapons.
Really?
Like
there's a little river there. So that we weren't able to get into that with him, but that's what he seems to believe.
See, we weren't able to get into that with him. I'm wondering if the reason why it wasn't brought up then is because he was like, maybe he told them that he didn't want to talk about that. But that's still not like okay, regardless. Like if you have this map that can prove what you're saying, which is the complete opposite of what everyone else is claiming, including the prosecution, like you really do need to like show it. Because what are you doing like with this rhetoric right now, acting like that with it? That's crazy. Like that's actually crazy. So I don't know. I heard that and I was just like, can you please show the community what he showed you? If he's claiming that he has this track that puts Kohberger going to Moscow north of 270 and taking a different way down south, and then he claims he knows where he stopped and it's a certain body of water where the weapons could be and all these things, like I don't know what else to say to that other than like it needs to come out, because now this is just like more conversation going on and going around about something that we still have no actual proof of, that somehow is going to get intertwined into the actual facts of this case. So somebody needs to produce something. Somebody needs to produce something. Welcome back, Naysayer. Thank you for rejoining. Thank you for the 199, Miss Mojo Rise, and I appreciate that. Thank you. Welcome, Sarah, and welcome, Tiny. Thank you for the 5, Lori. Thank you for joining, you guys. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. We do have what date is going to be our members only live this month? Let's see. July 2026. It should be like next week, yeah? Yeah, next Monday, the 27th, is going to be our next members only live. So I'll get that scheduled out here soon. I usually will put those out a little bit early so that you guys can grab onto that. Okay, so let's get on to what we're actually doing here. Yeah, I don't like all the speculation and all the stupid shit based on like no proof at all. Yeah, I mean, they're lawyers, so it's very possible. All 3 of them are lawyers. So they probably are drafting up some sort of contract or some shit like that, honestly, and making agreements to certain things. It just really annoys me because like Ron is an appellate lawyer. So he has experience with appellate stuff, and he really did like do a good job like pushing back on Cyray. I mean, it's almost useless to complain about certain things anymore because it just ends up like causing all kinds of backlash, because apparently since I have a camera and not just like a username that I just type comments on, I'm not allowed to have an opinion, and I'm just really like tired of it. So the interview is what it is. The interview was what it was. But if they were shown a map and locations on a map, then I feel like they have a duty to the community who have been going over there and listening to all of the interviews, been listening to everything that Cyray said, the people that are trying to figure out the truth. I mean, damn, even the freaking families deserve to know what the hell the map looks like. I mean, do a community post, take a screenshot, and be like, "This is where he said it was." Okay, bye. Like, I mean, come on. I just wish that they would like produce the things that they're claiming that they have. But you know what? Maybe he can't because Cyree asked him not to. I don't know. Okay. So in the last Moscow Monday, we went over the really long inventory list for all of the evidence that was taken in on 11/13/2022. They have it all the way up to 8:09 a.m. on 11/14/22, where they claimed that the scene was complete and they closed out. Everyone's names that apparently responded there were also listed. Item numbers, different people, different instances, and different case numbers that they claim are related to this case are all listed on this. This live, we are going to be reading the narrative at the very bottom of this report that was written by Gunderson. Now, it's interesting that Gunderson's is the original narrative supplement, and that number 1 is actually Corbin Smith instead of it being like Mitch Nunes and then Eric Warner. You would think that they would maybe be in here in chronological order by like arrival and actual association with the case itself. But I guess it's more like whoever turned theirs in first got to be in whatever order that they were turned in. But I would still think that either the lead detective on the case, which was Brett Payne, or Mitch Nunes, that was the first responder right here, would have actually been the person to have their narrative attached to the initial narrative itself. I don't know. That's just my way of thinking. Either way, we're going to go ahead and start reading this. I'm going to watch a little bit of the Gunderson body cam that is over on Connor's page so that, I stopped talking to that person a long time ago. So honestly, their opinion doesn't bother me, and it honestly shouldn't bother you either, because none of my questions got answered. So it just is what it is at that point. So let's go ahead and start reading this right here. I will like to say that we here see the very beginning, sort of the beginning, I guess, but at least one ripple effect of Nunes having Kaylee and Xana's names mixed up. And again, if you were here for previous videos, you know that when Nunes was talking to Dylan and trying to get all the information for everyone who was inside the house and deceased, that she was telling him correctly that it was Xana on the second floor, that Kaylee would have been the one on the third floor. He actually wrote it down correctly in his handwritten notes that we FOIA'd, got from the Moscow Police Department. We went over them live. And when we saw the notes, we were really confused because in his original report, he has what you see right here, Kaylee and Xana mixed up. You see Kaylee listed by Ethan, and then you see Xana listed by Maddie. If he would have just looked at his handwritten notes, he would have never put Xana and Kaylee in the wrong order in the original search warrant that he went to have signed on 11/13/22. He also would not have had them mixed up when it came to his report that he wrote directly for the file itself. Now, I don't know if the report attached to the original search warrant is different than the one in here. I know that we've gone over it. We've read it and gone over the search warrant sections itself, but I don't recall. I still haven't done like a side-by-side comparison to see if there's anything different. But again, this is now being written by Gunderson. So now Gunderson has taken that original search warrant where Kaylee and Xana are mixed up because Nunes did not read his own handwritten notes that he had from the scene from talking to Dylan when he wrote his search warrant. And now he has Kaylee and Xana mixed up at the top of his own narrative. Ripple effect, or I guess as Chris Whitcomb likes to call it, the butterfly effect. Things that happened outside of what initially happened. The domino effect. You guys get it. I don't know how many things. My big question with this is because I don't understand or know how many things have been misnumbered based on this situation. Okay. We already have a misnumbering issue that has caused there to be Xana's blood on the pong table that really wasn't. There had to be an amended report, and a whole bunch of things had to be changed. There was like 5 or 6 different ones that were noticed by Matthew Gamet, and so reports had to be corrected. The other issue, though, is that when we tried to get information for the chain of custody for item 40, which is that little red spot in the kitchen that was negative for blood, when they gave me the information from Moscow Police Department, it was listed as south wall on 3rd floor and not 2nd floor kitchen like it should have been. The item number, the evidence number, everything on that matched, except it had the incorrect description. I still have not received a response from them on that issue. And I asked very specifically in Chief Dollinger's email that I wrote him, we already had a numbering issue that caused problems. Do we need to add this one to the list? How many other things have a numbering issue? How many evidence items have the incorrect lab result, test result, whatever, attached to it because they keep labeling things incorrectly? This is a huge, huge problem because this is now not just ISP, but now we've seen it also be an issue with the Moscow Police Department. So this starts off with on 11/13/2022 at approximately 11:56 hours, Moscow Police Department officers responded to an unconscious call. The responding person, later identified as Bethany Funk, reported her roommate was passed out, not conscious, and not breathing. As I was preparing to leave the station, Officer Nunes, who was already on scene, advised of a likely homicide and asked for additional units. While I was en route, Officer Nunes advised he had located 2 additional victims. The victims were later identified as Kaylee Goncalves, Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, and Maddie Mogen. See, he has them backwards the way that Nunes had them backwards in all of his original reports. Which, again, in his report that's attached to this, which we'll go over in a few Mondays, at the bottom, he mentions how he has the 2 girls mixed up, but he never references the fact that he has them mixed up in the original search warrant either. So if that original search warrant was given to the Idaho State Police when they were collecting evidence items, how many things of Xana's are actually labeled as Kaylee's? And how many things of Kaylee's are actually labeled as Xana's before they realized the mistake that they made? But I really feel like this is a bigger problem than they're letting on, because there was no reason for my chain of custody request for that little spot in the kitchen to have had a labeling issue as well. When I say again that this case needs a forensic audit, it definitely needs a forensic audit. It's really bad. Moscow EMS was also staged and did not respond to the scene unless requested. Upon arrival, I saw Hunter Johnson crouching near the entrance to 1122 King Road. Johnson was in obvious emotional distress. I entered through the 1st floor door, which faces north towards the parking lot. I announced myself as a Moscow police officer and heard Officer Nunes and Warner respond from upstairs. When I got to the 2nd floor, I saw a female covered in blood in the bedroom on the northwest side of the 2nd floor. I believe this female to be Xana. So in the report itself, he does have it correct. I looked inside the bedroom Xana was lying in, and it was obvious an intense struggle had occurred. Xana was obviously deceased. There was blood smeared on various items in the room and all over the floor. There was blood cast off on the walls in various places, including above Xana's body, which again throws me so off because that means that it was on the ceiling. On the ceiling. That's so crazy. Xana was on her back on the floor in the center of the room with her head towards the west. Xana was in her underwear and a long sleeve gray shirt. Both her shirt and underwear were covered in blood. Xana's face and body was covered in dried blood. I could see what appeared to be defensive knife wounds on Xana's hands. There was a deep gash on Xana's left hand between her pointer finger and thumb. A partially covered male was on the bed and also obviously deceased. Now, again, there were 2 blankets on Ethan, and the interesting issue, and it is an issue, is that they have proof that the blanket was placed on top of him after his big gashes in his leg. And it's interesting to note that the 2 girls upstairs were also covered while Ethan was covered, but Xana was uncovered on the floor. Give me 1 second, guys. No, I needed to get a cough drop, guys. I'm not running off to buy no damn cake or eat no cake. We ain't got no cake. But that Dunkin' Donut cereal that you're talking about, when couponing was still couponing and it was still fun and you could literally get paid to bring groceries home all month because it was really that beautiful, we would get those Dunkin' cereals for free, moneymaker. I realized early on that couponing is a scam. I need to do a video about it one day for my second channel because they will give you free offers and rebates and coupons galore so that you literally get it like for free, knowing how many people out there are couponers so that it looks like people are purchasing the item and like letting them fly off the shelves. But in reality, once they get that like big lift number that shows that it can sell, usually within 6 weeks, it's on the clearance shelf and it's never, ever produced ever again. I don't know why they do that. I don't know why it's been like that the entire time. I don't know how many products that we've tried for completely free and gotten like 12 completely free items because of the way that the rebates worked. And then you never saw the item ever again. You never saw it ever again. You can still coupon, but it's definitely nowhere near as beautiful as it used to be. It's not even just that they changed it. It's also because everything is now so expensive and the rebates and the coupons are not keeping up with the inflation in order to let stuff even out. I'm just glad that I learned how to coupon when I had Dawn because we got a lot of diapers from like the baby shower that I had at my job. And by the time we ran out of those, we had so many from couponing. I'm not even trying to joke. Like, this isn't an exaggeration. It really isn't. It is not an exaggeration, you guys. The entire time that Dawn was in diapers or pull-ups, I maybe spent a total of $50 his entire lifetime, probably less, on diapers because of how couponing was, and I had a Kroger to do it at. Man, it wasn't even that long ago. It sucks that it went to shit. Oh, it sucks it went to shit. Welcome, Allie. Thank you for joining. I appreciate that. Coupon, yeah. It just sucks. Oh, no, I would get paid, babe. I would go into Kroger and take 2 baskets. It'd be me and my ex or me and one of my big kids, but there was always somebody else that could push a second basket. And I would fill one up with all the diapers and the baby wipes and the Febreze and the Gain and the Downy and all the things. And with a buy 5, save 5 sale and a manufacturer's coupon, they would have to give me money. Well, I would walk out of that store with hundreds of dollars worth of products in 2 different baskets. Oh, yes. That was real. The movie is real. I have all those photos somewhere on a USB. I'm gonna show you one day. When I tell you I had an entire room in our old place dedicated to couponing stuff because that's how much room I needed before moving it to the shed. A sea of green, a sea of orange, sea of diapers. It wasn't even a joke. I was in the resale game heavy. That's why I was able to take care of the whole neighborhood for weeks and weeks and weeks when COVID hit and nobody could get out. I didn't even put a dent in my coupon stuff. And we passed out stuff to people all the time. It's the good old days. I miss it. I miss it. It sucks. Everything went to shit. Okay. Let's get back on target. Let's get back on target. Okay, let's finish this top sentence right here. There was a deep gash on Xana's left hand between her pointer finger and thumb. A partially covered male was on the bed and also obviously deceased. I believe this male to be Ethan. The midsection of Ethan's body was covered with a blanket. Ethan's head wasn't visible and appeared to be between the bed and the south wall. Now, what we heard from Ray, which is a bigger detail than we heard from anyone else in this when it comes to Ethan's head, he says, according to the crime scene photos that he has seen, is that that patch of hair that is on the metal portion of the bed frame is technically where Ethan's head was actually laying, because the mattress had moved away from the wall and Ethan's head had fell literally exactly how it says, in between the bed and the wall. That's why the blood is outside of the house the way that it is, apparently, because he was literally upside down. His head was like literally upside down. And we know what that means for a body. So if you consider that and then consider 8 hours of drying, and I mean, I wish that they would have been more careful with it, because it seems like they ripped it out of his head when they went to move his body off that bed, with how big of a chunk there is right there. I mean, enough for it to fall on the floor and even look like there's a piece of his skin right there. Like, did they literally do that to him as they were removing him because it was like he was dried and stuck on the frame? Because that's the first thing that I started thinking when Ray described it that way, going back and thinking about how the pictures looked. But I still, like, that doesn't help. It doesn't help that Turvey, who's claiming to have seen the exact same pictures, is saying that his arm is what was actually like in that direction, like in that area. Until we actually see something better. Like, I know that they don't want to show us their bodies, and I understand that. Like, I'm not some asshole, okay? Like, I get it. But there are ways where they could fix the blurring enough to where we don't see all of the very intricate details, but still can see where his hand is versus his head. There's ways that they could do this, and it would alleviate so much if they would just realize that and be like, okay, we're going to have to just like bite the bullet on this one and just get it done, because it's causing too many issues, and we know we have rules to keep, but we're also not supposed to be disturbing the peace. We're supposed to be trying to keep it. That's our entire job. So let's figure this out. It'll never happen. Yeah, they need something. They need something. There's no reason that they haven't been able to do that by now. There was some blood cast off and what appeared to be arterial blood spray above where Ethan's head was located. I proceeded upstairs to the 3rd floor, where I met Officer Nunes and Warner. Officer Nunes and Warner advised the residence was clear of any additional people. There was a dog belonging to Kaylee in the 3rd floor west bedroom, which has access to a 3rd floor deck. The deck has no exterior access to the ground level, but the door was open. I asked Corporal Snyder to cordon off the area and Officer Nunes to start identifying the subjects that were on scene when he arrived. I asked Officer Warner to start a crime scene log at the front entrance. Once Officer Smith arrived on scene, I asked him to stand guard at the kitchen sliding door, which I later learned was ajar upon our arrival. But we were also told that the balcony in Kaylee's room was also open, so I wonder why he mentions the kitchen one but doesn't mention the balcony being open. On the 3rd floor, I went to the southeast bedroom where Officer Nunes and Warner advised they found 2 females, whom I believe to be Kaylee and Madison. So, see, in his report, he has it right. I just don't know why at the very top header it's backwards, because that throws it off a little bit. But it only throws it off a little bit because I guess we know the switch-up issue from before. If you don't know the switch-up issue from before, then I guess it wouldn't even catch your eye, honestly. So I guess that's something to consider, too. Both females were obviously deceased. I observed Kaylee lying on the north side of the bed and Madison lying on the south side of the bed. I just moved that too far and completely lost my spot like a big old dum-dum. Okay, right here. And Madison lying on the south side of the bed with their heads towards the east. Kaylee and Madison were covered by a pink blanket, which was covered in blood. There was a large pool of blood near Kaylee's midsection, which is so strange. Which I think this is where there's been a lot of confusion about exactly how the attack went down. Because at one point, the Goncalveses, Christy very specifically came out in an interview and said that they were told that Kaylee was found slumped up in the corner, like slumped over in the corner sitting up, which wasn't true. But with the way that the pool of blood was in that area and knowing that she didn't have anything that far down, really, like everything was really more like liver and up, I guess, like liver and up. So I guess that's the reason why Chris Whitcomb said that he felt like somebody had her like sitting up as this part was done, because that is something that he said. But he also said that he felt like it would have to have been from behind because of the angle, which is still crazy to me. But then again, not if it was two people. And it doesn't matter to me that they want to complain about how small that room is. Murderers don't care about comfort and leg room. They're going to go in there and do what they got to do. And two people going into that room and getting on that bed and attacking both girls at the same time, to have one get behind Kaylee and one fighting in the front, like that totally makes more sense to me. Because they still have to be able to figure out like how that pool got where it was, because that's already a big question apparently. Especially since we know that her body ended up not where all of the damage to her face was, because she should have been on the pillow and she wasn't. And some people think she might have been posed. I've said my opinion before, which is horrible, but possible that maybe she didn't succumb to her injuries right away and she moved towards Maddie right before she actually died. That's a big possibility. Let's see. Madison appeared to be laying up against Kaylee. See, and that's also kind of like a little bit different in your mind's eye when you think about that. If you think Maddie appeared to be laying up against Kaylee, then you instantly think that Kaylee is under Maddie. But that's not how we're being told. We're being told that Kaylee was more like on Maddie's left shoulder, sort of like, or is it right shoulder? Right shoulder, sort of like in a cuddle type position almost. But that statement, like that sentence right there, gives you a different vision of how that looks. Madison had what appeared to be wounds to her forearms and hands. Madison had a gash under her right eye, which appeared to go from the corner of her eye to her nose. Kaylee was unrecognizable as her facial structure was extremely damaged. I asked Officer Nunes to close the door to the bedroom so the dog did not try to disturb the scene. There was already paw prints in there, so that didn't really matter. Other than that action, MPD patrol officers left this. Actually, you know what? Something just popped into my head when it came to that. So you know how, and I need to do a video about this in itself so that this is out there in the algorithm about this FOIA. When it came to the like cadaver or blood dog or whatever that they brought out there on the 14th, do you guys remember if the photograph that has the dog paw in it, was it from the day of? Or was it some sort of like, was it like the 14th? Was it like the next day? Does anybody remember if you can tell what day that was? Because they've told me that there's no report. I've tried to FOIA that information and they told me that they don't have it. There's nothing in their system for the K9 going out there. But I'm wondering if it was on the 14th. Like if ISP was taking those photos on the 14th, I wonder if the dog had to go into the house and like smell the victim's blood area before being taken outside to like sniff around. I wouldn't think that they would bring a dog all up in the house. You'd think that they would bring something down to the dog outside of the house, but I'm just curious. So I don't know what date the picture is, and unfortunately they don't date any of them. So I'm going to have to go back and look around them and try to see if I can see if it's from the 13th. Because if it's from the 13th, it's definitely Murphy. But if it was on like the 14th and maybe like the dog stepped on something, the K9 dog stepped on something and left a residue, then maybe it's the cadaver dog. But I don't think that they would have brought the dog in there. That's another reason why I wanted the damn report. And they're like, oh, there's no report. There's no report about the dog at all. So that doesn't really help literally at all about anything. Okay. Other than that action, Moscow police patrol officers left the scene as it was found. I was later confirmed with Officer Nunes that no EMS personnel entered prior to my arrival. I contacted Captain Barrett and advised him of the situation. Captain Barrett said he would activate detectives and get more resources en route. Once Detective Sergeant Lawrence arrived on scene, he requested one of the responding patrol. One of the responding patrol officers began writing a search warrant, which was assigned to Officer Nunes. Corporal Snyder was assigned to take initial photos of the scene, while Officer Smith and Warner remained as security at both entrances. I collected the dog from the 3rd floor and took it outside. Latell County Sheriff's Office Deputy Olson transported the dog to the Humane Society on my behalf. Officer Nunes was interviewing a large group of individuals which were associated with the residents. Officer Nunes asked that I finish getting contact information for the individuals. I contacted and later added the following names to this call: Bethany Funk, resident; Dylan Mortensen, resident. That would be Hunter Johnson, Hunter Chapin. I guess they probably put Ethan's twin brother right here, and then Ethan's triplet brother right here, or maybe just brother, and then like Ethan's sister right here. But I don't know why they would block that out. Like, why are we not allowed to know that that's like related to Ethan? That's crazy, because this one's Maisie. Emily Allant, Josie Lauterin is her last name. Lyndon Beck, Jack Ducour, and Jenna McClure. Miss McClure, right? Once those individual names were collected, they responded to the Moscow Police Department to be interviewed by detectives, but not right away. They were allowed to go and do whatever they wanted to first. They didn't have to go straight to the police department. They got to go change clothes and do all kinds of shit. I assisted with the canvass of the area and was assigned the southernmost apartments at Blake Queen Road. I contacted the residents following apartments who claimed they didn't hear anything, blank and blank. I attempted contact with the following apartments with no response, and I guess it's numbers. There is no apartment blank or blank. I remained associated with the call and assisted with screen security until approximately 6 o'clock. And it says right here, for anything else, refer to Detective Sergeant Blaker and Corporal Payne. And then as you can see here, Roger Lanier is the one who double-checked this report. But, you know, their little peer reviews don't really do much good, really, honestly, at all. Okay, so now we're going to watch just a little of Gunderson's body cam so that we can sort of take a look and see if there's anything that seems different than what his report says. Because, again, we've seen discrepancies when it comes to Eric Warner and when it comes to Nunes reports that shouldn't be there. So we're going to go ahead and take a look. We're not going to watch like the whole thing. We'll probably watch up until he takes the dog out, I guess. That's where like the majority of his most detailed portions of the report actually stop. So we'll only watch until he comes and takes Murphy out, just so that we can make a comparison. Now remember, this is going to be quiet for a second, and then the sound is going to instantly come up. Is the sound going to come up anytime? How long does this take?
Moscow Police.
Whereabouts?
Moscow Police Department.
I copy. The house clear?
We're clear, yes. Security outside first.
You go to the front door. Don't let anybody in. Clear another entry.
To the back entry, you have to go to
Brian's taking the outside off at the moment. Where's the other?
Oh.
Got a dog.
Yeah, you heard that? Like, it has to have a smell. Like, I know that nobody is saying anything, but maybe they're just trained, like, for common decency because they know that these end up in court in front of family members, not to actually make any comments about how bad it smells. But you can hear, just like in Warner's, like, he's constantly making noises with his breath and with his mouth to where you can definitely tell that he's smelling something. And there's no way that they wouldn't smell something. The body releases everything that's inside of it when it dies. And we also know that when you look at Maddie's, like the pictures of where the knife sheath is, there's like a yellow stain, like her body released urine after she passed away and then it dried right there, like around where the knife sheath is found. So I'm sure it had a smell, without a doubt.
security outside first.
You go to the front door. Don't let anybody in. Clear another entry.
To the back entry, you have to go to take that off.
Brian's taping the outside off at the moment. Where's the other?
Two in this room.
Looks like 2 females. Got a dog.
Yeah, so one.
House is clear.
Yes,
dog in there.
Who is that? Is that Snyder?
House is clear.
That's Warner going down the stairs. This is Gunderson standing. Look, is that Snyder or Noons? Is that Noons touching it? Is that the same space? I'm gonna have to go compare the pictures now. Oh my
Please shut the door.
god. I mean, it's just his fingertips, but that still is like so easy to transfer. I guess I didn't realize. I was trying to see before, like who touched it, but didn't notice it right then.
House is clear.
I gotta compare where they tested it to where he's touching. Gloves don't matter if they've already touched blood. Blood's on the gloves, and blood transfers no matter if you got gloves on or not. So I'm gonna go in and compare it. I think it's further down. Does he touch more spots than that?
Shut the door. Dog there.
I guess we won't be able to tell, but we already know at that point, he's not paying attention and he's touching stuff.
Where's
that's from this gentleman.
Okay, start getting everybody's names, Eric, and then you need to start a crime scene log.
Yeah, Eric starts being at the door. See how the lights off in the bathroom here? Like when Noons comes in, it's off too, but that doesn't mean that it was off at the time that all this went down. It's so long you can't say that it is.
13 copies.
So now you also have to wonder, like, even though like the handrail down there going to the first floor in the middle is unknown male B, you also have to wonder, like, is it a male and it's just not strong enough for you to test and maybe see that it's Ethan's from like a cop who picked him up to move him? Because look, like now we can't guarantee at all that some of this contamination isn't from the cops at all. We also know that the damn print, see, this is something I need to make a separate video of. I've heard a lot of people talk about this over the past week, and it seems like they're kind of missing some information when it comes to that latent print. Now, we know here, because we've read these parts, that when it comes to the print that was pictured for the one that's used in the PCA in front of Dylan's door, that they never analyzed it, they never did anything with it, they didn't do shit with it. We also know that basically, like, where he's at back here, like where his foot would be, like right there, it's probably his dumbass that's actually marking everything. It's probably him. It's probably his damn feet prints. Look where he's at right now. He's literally in the spot where that freaking shoe print would be in front of Dylan's door. Now, there's another print that's right in front of the step. You can see that Amito Black has attached to it. That is the one that they said that they did not want analyzed. They didn't want anything pictured. You didn't have to deal with it at all because they thought it was a police officer's print. So naturally, if you take the one at the bottom of the step right before you would step, and then you take it to the one that's L4, that's in front of Dylan's door, that's literally a footstep. Like, that's somebody taking a freaking actual step. So I don't know. I'm going to assume, because they're not good at updating things, amending things, correcting things, that L4 wasn't analyzed because they knew that it was a step from L3 that they already said not to bother photographing because they thought that it was contamination or some sort of, cross prints, whatever, from law enforcement from before. I wonder if it's Snyder now that he's over there touching stuff. Look where he's at. I wonder. I wonder. And there's the white claw that has the blood underneath it.
Well, you go see what you can track with.
Tyson Barrett is the one who then calls Chief Fry. That's where you get the interview information in the James Patterson book, where James Fry is like getting this phone call from Tyson Barrett as him and his wife are coming back in from being out of town on vacation for the weekend.
Check with,
yeah, we're going to need everybody. I think we got 4 deceased. Yeah, 11:22. There's
yeah, which makes it more reasonable for them to think that those steps in front of Dylan's door were from law enforcement, because it probably matches their boots. Yeah, that's the part I don't understand. But we also know that there's a big discrepancy with his knife story too. And that's something I don't know why Chris Whitcomb, Cy Ray, any of them, Turvey, any of them that have come out to talk about all the discrepancies and issues in this case, when they mention like the knife, the steak knife, Hunter Johnson, that whole story, how come none of them realized that it was on the floor like we did? It was literally on the floor. You can hear Hunter Johnson plopping it on the table, and he's claiming that that's the one that he went and got out the kitchen. But that story doesn't add up, because Emily coming up the stairs says she sees the knife on the ground. So we not only have visual confirmation from body cam, from Noon's body cam, that steak knife is on the ground right there at the top of the step. But in Emily's interview on 11/13, she physically says that to Brett Payne. And she's like, I don't know, I guess that's normal. Probably not, though, because she's like being sarcastic because she's freaking out, not knowing what's going on, I guess. So how come nobody else realized that the story doesn't add up? He is claiming that he already had the knife in his hand as he went back to Xana's room to check the closet and all those other things. And that he realized Emily was coming up the steps as he was in Xana's room, and he didn't want her to see what was happening. So he went and met her at the top of the step before she could actually step up onto the floor to then see what was going on. So if he had the knife all the way back there in Xana's room before hearing Emily and knowing he needed to stop her, and she's seeing a knife on the top of the floor as Hunter is walking up to her from Xana's room, How does that story add up? How does that story add up? How come the experts in this case that looked at all the evidence aren't asking that question? I think that's a pretty serious question, considering that this was a stabbing event and this was the first person to walk into the house. And he claims to have touched one of the bodies and walked into the rooms and had a knife in his hand. And then he gets to the police department and his pants are changed. I don't understand how more people haven't questioned that little situation, you know? That's freaking sketchy. This part's redacted.
Okay, we literally just got here and got the house cleared. Eric's.
There's nothing else up there. You want me to go right there and start ID?
Yes, please. We're getting everybody ID'd, and looks like there's it looks like there's some stuff in here, alpha fee, bid stuff in here. We have
never saw it in his pocket. Never knew of it being in his pocket. I know that some people think that he had it in his hand as Officer Nunes was coming in the house, but that's false. He did not have it in his hand. It was already on the floor as Hunter was walking up the step to get on the step with Nunes following him. Hunter walks over the damn thing. You can see it in Nunes' body cam. He picks it up as Nunes is at Xana's door, and as the camera shows Nunes sort of like turn around facing Xana's room, and then it goes black, you can hear it on the table because it's heavy. He drops it on that heavy plastic and you can hear it. It plunks down in the background. But Nunes never says a word to him about that knife. I don't even think he realized that he had it in his hand, because it seems like Hunter, where he's standing in the back with his arms all crossed and shit as Nunes is in Xana's room, is literally where that black backpack is and where the knife was sitting, that him and Nunes then stepped over. Nunes never mentioned seeing that knife on the floor in his report or anything. If it was a snake, it'd have bit his ass. He walked over it, didn't even place it in his report. It didn't even register to him. And I'm guessing he maybe didn't see it if he reviewed his body cam before he wrote anything either. To me, that's a big freaking deal. To me, that is a huge ass deal. It is a huge ass deal. Oh, I can actually see the gyms all of a sudden? I've never been able to see the gyms pop up on this side, like on the StreamYard side of things before. What? Yeah, that's not a camera. That's just lights, guys. That's not a camera. It's just lights. I know they look like round lights, but they're just like, there's just like these little spotlights things. There's no cameras. That's cool. I didn't know that they were going to show up over here. They must have updated it, I guess. They must have updated it. Yeah, these are just little spotlights. You can see them in like the videos that, you know, everyone had posted on their social media of them being in the house and stuff like that. They're just little spotlights. That's all they are. They're not cameras, unfortunately.
And then doesn't sound like anybody on the main floor downstairs.
Oh, they must have done an update. Oh yeah, I can never see those before.
John.
That's cute.
And then we have some. Yeah, we got some footprints coming to and from the back of the apartment. It looks like. We won't fuck with those. Ryan's taping everything off. Warner's starting a crime log. And that's where we're at so far. Okay, thanks. Right here with you, bud.
Looks like they just broke the snow track right.
Those ones?
The door was open, so.
This one was?
Yeah.
Okay, no one touched it?
No one touched it.
Make sure everybody.
Yeah. He picks it up off the floor, puts it on the table, and then in the story, he tells them that he goes in there into the kitchen and grabs the knife. Now, both Dylan and Bethany, as far as I can remember from their interviews, say that they remember Hunter asking if there was a knife that he could get from somewhere. but both of them say they never saw him actually physically go into the kitchen and pick up the knife. Now, conveniently, that little red spot that apparently was negative for blood was right there on the floor under where the drawer would have been that he would have had to have opened in order to grab that knife. Yeah, we dug pretty extensively into this. That's why I'm really surprised that Whitcomb, Holland, everyone who has claimed to have watched these videos, if they're going to lean on Noon's video, why are none of them mentioning that damn knife being on the floor and the story not adding up? Again, if Emily was coming up the stairs and Hunter was trying to stop her from seeing Xana, and he had already grabbed the knife, like they all stated, like he stated, if he'd already grabbed the knife from the kitchen and went back down the hall to check the closet and make sure that there was nobody else in the house, because that's what his story is, how is it in his hand coming back out of Xana's room to stop Emily from coming down the hallway, and Emily is seeing it on the floor before Hunter gets to her? That doesn't work. None of that works. So I don't know why it wasn't taking, why it wasn't taken more seriously. To me, that's hella important.
Anybody, no one touched it. There's footprint there. I have one track that comes up this way, but I tried using the rocks to go back down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true too, because there's honestly no proof he actually went into that room. He could be making up a story, making up some sort of hero story and acting like he went in there and checked the pulse and got a knife and tried to be a Mr. Hero. There's no proof that he did any of that. There's no proof that he actually did any of that. So that's a good question, because there should be some sort of, I mean, even with dried blood, because at that point it would have been dry blood, there should have still been like something that transferred onto his shoes, especially if he got close enough to check her pulse. We've seen the unredacted video. I mean, the photo. We've seen the unredacted photo from back in January. Okay. We've seen the photos of the floor. Yeah, there should have been transfer on his shoes. And in all reality, if they actually like listened to him and heard him say that he went in there and he like touched Xana to check her pulse and walked around in the room and checked the closet, they should have instantly taken him to the police department and had him give his clothes over to evidence. All the way down to his shoes. He should not have been allowed to go home and change. Now, I don't remember if he changed his shoes. I'm going to need to go back in the video and check and see if his shoes changed. But for sure, he changed from shorts into pants. And I know some people are going to be like, oh, it was cold, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's cool. But the fact that nobody said a word, like you apparently took them shorts into a room with dead bodies and blood all over the place. And then you had your hands in your pockets after you said you touched one of them to check her pulse. That stuff should have been brought in as evidence. Just because. It's crazy to me that they didn't bother to do more than they did. It's really wild. Yeah, Bethany said she bought knives Bethany said she bought knives from IKEA. She didn't say that she bought the knife that Hunter had from IKEA. She just knows that the knives that were in the house, she purchased them from IKEA. Is how I remember the interview. Again, we've listened to both of the interviews several times, but we've definitely listened to more of Dylan's, at least I have here on this channel. We've listened to more of Dylan's than Bethany's, but that's how I remember it being said. Both of them stated when asked this question, both of them said neither one of them saw him physically go into the kitchen and actually grab a knife. So she's, in my opinion, just answering generally because she knows she's the one who actually purchased the only set in the house.
Oh, here. I started. He's right up here. Hey, Ryan?
There's a bag back here, too.
Okay, make sure that includes it. And you got your cell phone?
Yeah, for snapping.
Start taking some photos. Is you talking about this bag?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't know if it looks old.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah, let's just leave it be for now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. Just be mindful of where you step because we got some.
Did you get my traffic about what it's going to look like?
Yes, thank you. Tyson's on his way in. That's where we're at the moment.
The outside. Well, that's another thing. I was hoping that Officer Snyder's initial photo list would have actually like mentioned the blood dripping out of the house. I do think that it is already back here. Let's just go back and we'll go slow. Yeah. Oh, you know. Oh, wait a minute. I mean, from here, it doesn't look like it's there. But I do know that later on in either Warner's body cam, where he's in the kitchen, like doing entry log at the slider, that it's noticeable then because somebody brings it to his attention. But it sure doesn't look like it's right there. Let's see if we can get a better view, like all the way around. I'm glad you said something.
We're downstairs.
I'm glad I can see you now. That's kind of cool.
And then we have some, we got some footprints coming to from the back of the apartment. It looks like. We won't fuck with those. Ryan's taping everything off. Warner's starting a crime log. And that's where we're at so far.
Oh, I guess this is it right here. You can sort of see it. You can sort of see some streaks right here. Like right here in the middle.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, right here. It's really faint this far away, but they're definitely there. Yeah, you can see them.
Right here with you, bud.
Looks like they just go the snow track right
Those
now.
ones?
That door was open, so.
This one was?
Yeah.
Okay, no one touched it?
Yeah, they're really faint from that far.
Make sure everybody.
I haven't interviewed anybody. No one touched it. There's footprint there. I have one track that comes up this way, but I tried using the rocks to go back down.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll take a screenshot and throw it into Canva real quick and show you. You can see them, but like the cameras are shit. You know what I mean? Like the cameras are actual poop. Somebody's microwaving something. I can hear it. Okay, paste. Okay. Can y'all see that? Like the streaks right here? They're like right here. You can see it sort of like go like this. You can see this one go this way. Up here is like pretty thick, like a pretty thick shadow, but then this one seems to like go like this, so it's like kind of broken off. This is what it looks like from far away. Because the cameras are poop. All their cameras are poop. I'm sure our FOIA money gave them some upgrades though.
Oh, here. He's right up here. Hey, Ryan.
There's a bag back here too.
Okay, make sure that includes it.
Yeah,
and
that's a
you
cooler.
got your cell phone?
Yeah, for snapping.
Start taking some photos. Is you talking about this bag?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't know if it looks old, but I didn't get very close.
Yeah, let's just leave it be for now. Yeah, sure. Just be mindful of where you step, because we got some.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Tyson's on his way in. That's where we're at the moment.
Here he is.
Photos of everybody too that you talked to.
yet the Goncalveses and the rest of the family still have those pieces as part of their bullshit narrative in that WSU lawsuit when it comes to stalking and shit. The South windows. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
5313. Let's encompass the parking lot too for this address.
Good question. That's a good ass question. I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah, that'd be good. There's your own touch center back there. Yeah. And you're gloved up good. Said you're gloved up good.
Yeah, be gloved up good and don't freaking touch shit. Because like I said, it doesn't matter if they have gloves on. Like, it won't drop their DNA on stuff. But if they're touching the crime scene, you know, moving the bodies or moving things around to take photos or doing whatever they're doing, even just going around and like shutting doors, transfer they might be touching, that transfer then gets onto their gloves and then they're going to transfer it at other places. So seeing him touch that railing, that's really aggravating.
Fucking look around and see if you can see anything. Let's not, well, photograph that stuff if you don't mind. It starts melting and then we'll get better ones then too. Texting you?
Well, I told her to stage until she heard otherwise, but I told her to follow up with her.
Okay. I'll let you know.
Heard otherwise, but I told her to follow up.
I want to see if I can see anything at the bottom of those steps. What the hell is these two doing?
I'll let you know.
No. Yeah, they're in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Like, if you've already cleared the scene, get the hell out until forensics gets there. Honestly, what Gunderson is doing right now, he shouldn't be technically doing. Once it was cleared, they should have stayed out of it until they got there. And there's like a chainsaw or some weed eater or some shit going on. See, so there's a bowl of curly fries on the kitchen counter, plus there's a plate in the room that has curly fries and stuff on it too. But that doesn't mean that it's from that night. Like I said, I know the bag and everything is there, but they like hadn't cleaned the house from the party before. They have old fast food like all over the place. We know just from the way the house is all over the house that this being in here does not mean that it's the one that was apparently DoorDash that night.
I think he's down getting the front. Yeah. Okay, just don't worry about it then. Just. Hey, boy. Yeah.
blood leaking out.
See, so this is the one. He just now tells him there's some blood leaking outside. Record closed captions on.
Yeah.
There's some blood leaking out.
Oh, it didn't even capture it. Lame. Yeah, he just said there's some blood leaking outside. That's Snyder. I mean, I think that's Noons. I get them confused. In their faces. I get them confused in their faces. Yeah, see, ooh. Dang. So, damn. So before, like, you can barely see that shit. Look how prominent it actually is when he walks outside this time. Like, did something happen and all of a sudden the blood just started leaking even more? Watch this. I'll snap this one too. Because, like, look how much worse it looks all of a sudden. Well, let me get it closer. Because this is, like, where he was pretty much. Damn, that's crazy. This is pretty much where Noons was when we got the other snap. How come all of a sudden it's so much stronger? Okay, so let me take this off of here. This is the one that we took from earlier when he was pretty much in the same damn spot that he's in now. He was right there out the door. Like he's almost in the exact same spot. That's crazy. That's a big difference. I mean, I know it hasn't very much been that long, but like that's a bigger difference. And he's outside the door pretty much like the same exact way. What's the other one? Yeah, I mean, maybe this one was a little bit farther away. It's just crazy how different. Crazy how different it looks.
I'm trying to find. Looks like there might be some blood in the sink, but.
See, that part is so crazy. I remember the first time we heard that. And then we have emails that were released that says that they didn't bother to swab or do anything with the drains or anything at all. So annoying. See, I wish he would have put that in his report that he saw that there was blood in the drain, because they don't ever seem to double check the videos. They just like attach reports and then move on with their life. And yeah, the TV is on. Somebody said something about that in the chat earlier. Yeah, the TV is on. It's very true construction. It's really bad. Yeah, nothing in the report, and then the emails from forensics say that they didn't bother to swab anything. Than any of the drains.
Cast off, dude.
A lot of cast off, dude. You heard that? Why is he still just all over the house? Oh! Watch him walk right there. That space looks bigger than like 18 inches. It looks like it's pretty wide. He sort of sidesteps to get through it, but it is still pretty narrow. He sidesteps. There's that damn Alexa. I don't know why they didn't seem to try to look into the Alexa, unless they did and it just didn't like have anything on it. But the Alexa just being there, and we know that like it records everything pretty much, and it's weeks later when the evidence and stuff's being moved around and everything from Xana's room is in the bathroom, it's the cord is still twisted the same way. Like it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know why the hell he's walking into the house. He's supposed to be looking at Xana and Ethan right now. Yeah. He did not say, okay, he's for the F word. Let's go off. Music. See why I don't do captions? This shit ain't music, it's footsteps and gagging.
That includes the LE going and coming and going too. So, fuck, dude.
Yeah. I just started the actual time.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, there was no reason for him to keep walking in and out that
Well,
dog
so
at all.
Got,
Like, I know they need to get the dog, but like all of that back and forth was not necessary. We're gonna watch until he takes out morphine. See how loud she is? You see how loud Dylan is being? Why do you have to be so loud and put on a show like that? Like, she knows that her voice is echoing everywhere. She knows it.
usually pretty good. There to grab the knife that's on the your phone table. And start to go. It's clear, and then call us.
Okay.
This is where he's telling
Anything weird about
Gunderson
anything
about the knife.
with him?
Look how listen to how nonchalant. If you can hear it over Dylan's whining. And remember, Maisie told her, "Shut the F up. I don't want to hear you, Dylan." Warner is describing to Gunderson sort of like the knife situation with Hunter. But again, he doesn't mention, because we heard this we heard some of it before. He doesn't mention anything about it being on the floor either, because Hunter never says anything about it being on the floor. He never says a word about it being on the floor. But you can
so he got a call about 20 minutes ago from his girlfriend that's working to the blue shirt from one of the girls that's here.
Her voice just sounds forcibly loud.
Usually couldn't do anything. There to grab the knife that's on the your phone table. And start to go. It's clear, and then call us.
Okay. Anything weird about anything with him? Okay.
So he just asks him, anything weird about him? You know, anything weird with him? The guy that had the knife from the floor and put it on the ping pong table and all the other things? No. Okay. That was the end of their investigation, apparently.
Which ones?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. With those girls. There's the two girls.
Okay. Looks weird.
One girl that was up there.
Nothing down there though.
There's that padlock key on the floor.
And we haven't cleared that yet. Okay. Well, just be mindful of that as you're standing there, okay?
Yeah. Ran out several times, haven't heard anything.
Yeah, that's the one that they claim they don't have a key for, that Team Idaho has to get open.
All right. Try to figure that out, I guess.
Yeah. Like at that point, they don't know that they're deceased. So she's being loud and ridiculous right now, and they don't even know that the people are dead, apparently. So it is pretty interesting, isn't it?
Got anything yet?
I just walked up to him and said, "Hey man, can I talk to you? What's going on?" He said, "Who are you? Do you live here or something?" He said, "No, it's my girlfriend.
What, Jack?
5 years. What's in there?" And I don't know.
See, look. Oh my God. See, this is how stupid this is. So in this, they didn't redact the fact that Jack and Kaylee have been together for 5 years. But in the 11:15 interview that I'm like redacting the redactions and inputting onto the screen stuff that's redacted that we know what it is, they're letting us know that they met in middle school and started dating in high school. They did a piss poor job saying, like, redacting the school that Kaylee went to, the high school that Kaylee went to, because you definitely can tell which one it is. And then when it comes to how long they've been broken up, you're able to hear that they broke up 3 months before the murders took place. But when he's being asked how long they were together, both times they redact 5 years as the answer. See what I mean? The dumbest shit. The dumbest shit.
There's it.
Just pointing stuff right over there and said, I'll have some in a second. So he's in the back of my car.
Okay. Have you been in there yet?
I need to take pictures of.
Get every. Well, and get all the VINs and all that stuff too. There's one room that still hasn't been cleared yet in there.
Thanks for the $9.99, Kim. What if they did check the drains and tubs, but it didn't put it in the report because it wasn't BK? I mean, that's very possible too. It honestly is very possible. All we have is what they've given us so far. And all it shows is that they didn't. Well, I mean, honestly, you have to think back to the beginning of it too. I mean, they could have removed it very easily, could have removed the information. But there's nothing in like the handwritten reports or anything like that about them swabbing any drains or doing anything. And then the emails say that they didn't even bother. But then you have to question that, though. You have to question what Kim just said here. Because Cyree is out here trying to tell us that they had Bryan's name and had him and in their sites and all this bullshit before the 1219 phone call to MPD, that they were just trying to get the IgG match because once they had the match, they could it was go time. But they already had him, which there's no proof of that at all. There's literally none at all. And he's basing that on the 1129 car thing that never got turned in. He's full of shit. Okay. Oh, it just restarted. Okay. Is the feds messing with my internet? Did it just restart and shit for y'all? Because it just swirled and shit for me. Anyway, he is now coming out here trying to say that they were shopping around for results because they knew which way they wanted it to go. That's a big say. That's a big thing to say, that they already had him somehow and were shopping around for whatever lab was going to give them the results that they actually knew that they were already supposed to get, is what he's claiming. So when somebody says something like this, could they have possibly checked the drains, but there was something in it basically that didn't match Bryan Kohberger, meaning somebody else's blood besides the victims, somebody else that didn't match? Is it so out of the realm to think that that's a possibility anymore? Hell no. Do we have any proof of that? No. But it's definitely not something to not think about. It's definitely not something to not think about, because I don't trust none of them. I don't trust any of them. Literally at all. A little frozen shock face. Look, I've had a CIA agent on my ass for a good decade now. I'm not stupid. I've got somebody assigned to me. I push against the grain too much. I know I have someone assigned to my ass.
Just it's locked.
This one around for. There's a guy, black mask, was in there. She didn't recognize him. When she did go screaming upstairs, she got scared, locked herself in the room, and then the screaming all stopped. She's pretty sure that this masked person went out back.
Okay, we have footprints.
And right now, information. She knows who she goes right there. I haven't told her who's deceased.
Okay.
They just have.
See, so that's another thing. So right here, they're talking about how Dylan says that when she saw the person, they were going towards the kitchen area. So she's assuming that they went out the back slider. And Home Dude just said, yeah, there's prints back there. Okay, well, then if you're going to try to consider the prints that are going towards Jack Jacor's house, how are you going to sit there and try to tell us that he was parked up at the top parking thing? I guess they're wanting us to think that he walked through snow that could leave prints when he could have gone the other way. See, that shit doesn't make any sense. Let's see. Let me go back to this spot right here. Okay, you see all of this right here? So when they've got these prints going this way, they want you to think that Kohberger went out the back sliding door and went towards Jack's house and went up here. Like he walked this way through snow where he left prints on purpose. Is that what they're wanting us to believe? Because look at all of this ground from the actual back parking area that doesn't have any snow. That would have been the more obvious places to step if you're a suspect trying to break into a house. If you've got all of this land here to step on that doesn't have any snow, why would you instantly think that the dumbass that was responsible for this is the one who left those snow prints? How are you going to say that the car was in the back area, but you want us to believe that these prints belong to whoever walked in that house coming from the opposite direction? Look how much land ain't got no snow on it. You could get to that door all kinds of different steps without actually walking into that damn white stuff. That shit makes no sense. No sense. No sense. See, where were we? I think over here.
That door belongs like a storage closet for Team Idaho. Yeah, still keep an eye on it though, but
See, even him walking around and taking photos, why didn't they wait until the forensic team got there and he just walked the house with the forensic team, taking photos at the exact same time and not allow anyone else to walk through the house? It's definitely way too much just traipsing around the house. It's way too much.
first crime is in this door back here. Extra light. Go ahead.
I know a smart ass loser when I see one. That's a ridiculous ass comment, and I already saw something else you posted, so I'm getting rid of you now before you piss me off.
What was it?
Something CC in the call.
I copy. Yeah, just watch where you step. I haven't seen any out here. That was grabbed by the dude that came in, but there's
because the
some
knife is
signs
on
of
the table at this point.
some stuff around. Maybe. Still want the screen down.
Take a picture of that. I'm just waiting for a tape Brian so he's gonna grab me one.
Okay, he's taking photos, so
And that ended up being literally nothing.
The gal Mitch is talking to said that she can said that they're pretty small hands. Said they saw a guy come in last night with a ski mask on or a black mask on, and heard screaming and stuff around 3 or 4. This one here. Yep. It sounds like that. And then Ryan's got a guy out here that lives over here. That's the ex-boyfriend of one of them. So he's detained in his car at the moment, or in his car at the moment.
Not detained.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was people that found one
Hey man, how's it going?
Not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, would you be open to taking a dog to the impound for me?
Yeah.
All right.
Where is it at?
We are at. I haven't collected it yet. It's a little poodle thing, but we're at 1122 King Road.
1122 King Road.
Yep.
Murphy's still in Kaylee's room right now.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it. That'd be awesome, man. All right, bye.
Yeah, EMC's walked up to like the dumpster area, and then we're told to turn around.
You sure you get this room?
I got a couple pictures from the doorway.
And then
Well, the thing with that, and I need to get some clarification on this because I don't like the answer that we have so far with the way that it seems. He has some sort of like shock collar on. No, I don't know if it's an actual shocking collar or if it's more of like a vibration collar, but we know from reports, police reports, not rumors, not people talking shit, not people seeing Murphy's collar and being like, oh my God, I think what that is, and I'm going to start a rumor about it. No, it is in the damn police reports, in the court documents about this damn collar on Murphy, okay? I just don't know exactly if it's a shocking one or if it's a vibrating one. But when people are questioning why he maybe isn't barking about like this while all of this stuff is going on, I think it's because he's got that collar on and he knows he can't bark because he's been trained at this point not to with the collar. So I think that's probably important too. Because of the barking that we hear on the camera. Now, do I think it's Murphy? I do think it's Murphy. I do think we do hear Murphy barking. Do I think we only hear Murphy barking? No. Is it possible we hear another dog that's not Murphy? Very possible. Because if strangers were walking around and making all kind of noise and dogs were picking up on noises, then yes, it very well could have been another dog. But as far as we are understanding now, at least one of the dogs we are hearing, it's supposed to be Murphy. But this not barking scenario, I have to think back to the collar situation. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. $46.13. Let me know when the 2 arrives. The one on the left is where the dog is. Okay. Ooh, sorry. Shut the door to this so that the dog didn't go in there. What's up? Yeah, we got him.
Yeah, but he's a little whippersnapper dog. Like Molly's dog was small enough for her to carry him because she makes a statement about how she was carrying him when she was walking down the side road between the house and the apartments from the back area when she parked back there. That she got out with the dog and then ended up carrying him and getting back in the car. And so when she got out of the car to drop off the DoorDash, she had been carrying the dog as she was driving back down. So she just had him with her. Like, I don't know how the hell she managed it. This is in her interview. This is how she said it. That she's carrying her dog, which is the dog that she has in the interview, the little bitty dog. She's also got the food that she's supposed to go and drop off at the door. And she's trying to finagle her phone to have the DoorDash app open so that she can take a picture of the drop-off, the no contact delivery, while she's holding the dog. I don't know how the hell she's managing all that while holding the dog, but that's what she claims.
You checked out there?
Yeah, we still haven't gotten that damn picture. Damn it. Yeah, I mean.
Yes. Good? Yeah, we'll let you get photos first and then we'll corral him out of here.
See, that's something that I've questioned, and I question it even more after we realized that Murphy was missing for a while. We know that now because we have all the rest of the footage. The only piece of footage that came out originally from the police was from 3:30 to like 4:30. I think is the original public packet of information. So when we FOIA'd the rest of it, that first timestamp that we received, because the 12:55 was missing at the time, then when we got it, it was just missing audio. You know, y'all know that whole damn story. But the first segment that started at 2:25, where the damn scream is at 2:27, y'all know that we've been going back in and figuring out timelines. So when you look at that, you can see that at the times that Kaylee and Maddie are calling Jack's phone back to back to back to back to back, Maddie's also asking Bethany around right before 3 o'clock when the calls stop if she knows where Murphy is. We see a car pull in. Sounds like somebody is getting Murphy's attention. We hear doors. It seems like the person took off with Murphy. Then towards the end of the clip, more towards the 3 o'clock time, I want to say it's like the 2:57, 2:58 time. You see headlights sort of hit the window at that front house in the corner. That's that double house. Like a car pulls into the White's parking lot. And maybe 45 seconds, a minute later, you hear girls go, Murphy! Like they were outside and had seen him come from somewhere. So if you take that and then you mix it with reports that we have already read, where people are saying that Kaylee had noticed and other people had noticed that when Murphy was being called to come to the house prior to the crimes, very recently, but prior to the crimes, that he was taking longer to come back to the house. And so even they had been wondering, was somebody in the area trying to technically groom Murphy to get close to them to where maybe he would take a snack from them, and that snack might have had something in it to incapacitate him, make him go to sleep. That's something that I questioned from day one. I asked that question a week in. Did somebody give something to the dog? Because at first we thought the dog was missing. Well, it turns out the dog was missing, but the dog wasn't missing in the time frame that we're being told the dog was missing. The dog was missing before 3 o'clock when all the crazy calls were going on, and we can hear what's going on in the cameras. So it's very possible. I've questioned that from the beginning. And again, the camera footage and getting even more information definitely still makes me think that it's a big possibility that somebody could have given something to Murphy in like preparation for that night. And maybe since we see that happening around like 3 o'clock, I mean, how long does it take for a dog to have medication that can make them pass out? How long does that take for it to kick in? I don't know. No, I don't know.
Yes. We'll shut it so it down.
It looked like it, didn't it? Are you the one who told us about that timestamp? I feel like a name similar to yours told us about that. It does look in the cameras when this was brought to our attention the first time. We went over that in a live. It does look in the cameras, the dumpster that's closer to Jack's house. It looks like a dog that looks very much like Murphy around the 6:15 mark is walking right there at that dumpster. Not the dumpster right at the 1112 parking lot, but the one right across the street closer to Jack's house. It sure does. It sure does. You just open the door again. I wish we could just hear what he's saying. Like, why can't we hear what he's saying? There's no reason why we can't hear what he's saying.
Yes. We'll shut it so it down.
in his body cam too, Snyder's body cam, and Warner's body cam, because as far as I can tell so far, it doesn't look like Gunderson has walked in to Maddie's room. At least not that I've noticed, again, going through this part right here. But Warner's number 1, Snyder's number 2 would be the ones that need to be looked at to see exactly how that sheath was, if they just wouldn't redact the damn thing. But we know it'll be a big black box. And you can get that so easily online, even for dogs. Now, I don't know exactly like where the vet was. I want to say that there was one for what was it, like some PetSmart receipts and stuff like that, and they have their own like vet thing. She could have taken him literally to any other vet, but getting a prescription like that would have been easy for Jack because he's considered the co-parent of Murphy. You know what I mean? So there's that. But it could have been literally easy for anybody. Or it could have been anything. You can give dogs all kinds of things to make them go to sleep. Not even prescription. No, Benadryl doesn't do nothing for mine. To get crime scene photos, Snyder was told to take photos, so that's what they're doing. But I don't understand why Gunderson has to be with him if homeboy has a camera that's paying attention to, you know, what he's doing. I don't know why he needs a freaking chaperone to walk around the house.
What you needed?
You get what you needed. Yeah, it's like original scene photos.
Come here, pup. Hi, puppy. Hi, puppy. Hi, pup. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Come on. Come on. You want to go outside? Come on. Come on. All right, I got the dog. Come on.
See, I wonder if he grabbed the thing right there. I need to see if there's not another view from that. I wonder if he grabbed onto the ledge right there since he had the dog in his hands.
Come on.
Yeah. And see, like, if the kitchen door was actually open, then it's very reasonable to think that Murphy, like, went to the bathroom, and then went back to the house. You know what I mean? And to go to the restroom, like, or go towards Jack's to sniff out a place to go to the bathroom probably also makes sense. That's why I think if the kitchen door was actually open, I really do feel like it is Murphy at 6:15.
Justin Olson's going to come pick this dog up and take it into town for us.
Yeah, I feel
Come on.
sorry for Murphy.
Do you mind holding on to him for a second?
I can't even imagine what that kind of experience is like for an animal that doesn't understand.
Do you want to? Never mind.
I'm going to retake this out.
Okay, thank you. Oh, fuck, dude.
My dogs would have been barking the second everybody started walking around. They don't shut up. Like, they try to break the window out to get to some stranger outside.
I know you're a little late, but to the party, but the just anybody that comes and goes out of here, just start a crime log on your end.
See, like, even right here, like, you're going to try to tell me that the person that did this was so dumb that instead of walking on the concrete and going down this way, I'm going to mute it while I talk right here. Going down this way and going down all these little pieces that don't have any snow. They're going to walk like right here. Like, it's amazing. And I know that there's pictures from the night before where it shows the same footprints, but it's just amazing, like, what they're trying to tell us without realizing, like, how none of what they're trying to say actually makes sense. Those shoe prints don't mean shit. It's the opposite direction of what they're trying to tell us from where he was parking. Why would you walk through all of that when there's nothing on this other side where you could leave any prints? None of that makes any sense. None of it. No. Mm-mm. Look how much clearer the blood looks now. Ain't that wild?
No weapon we've been able to locate. We haven't moved anybody, but I would ascertain it's probably not here. But looks like there's some dried blood on the sink, but there's not any around it, and there's no blood droplets on the outside.
What he said? I remember hearing this before. This was a big topic for a long time, which is why when we got the information where they said in the emails they didn't bother, we were like, I'm sorry? What?
Looks like there's some dried blood on the sink, but there's not any around it, and there's no blood droplets on the outside. Once we get everybody here, we need to start tracking down where these go to.
See? They're putting so much.
Do they look like they bend back at all, or?
Bodies that resets come and go. They look like they run log right here.
And go down?
Because if you would have went up that way, we would see it.
Right.
Yeah. There's really no other word to describe it. Like, I don't understand how you can have so many mistakes. The amount of mistakes. Every department, practically every single department, it just makes no sense. Just like proven with receipt mistakes. Not we just want to talk about
It's a big foot too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a 12.
I mean, it's probably Jack's. Or one of the delts, or one of the many guys that was probably there the night before for their little party.
This is probably 13 or
Easily a 13.
14.
And never mind the guys that were coming over to the house earlier that day, and also the fact that the girl that Kaylee and Maddie went to the corner club with, he said that he went over there with his girlfriend before the girls took off to go to the corner club. And he stayed at the house for a little while before he then left to go to the corner club because there was other people still in there. Anybody could have made them damn feet prints.
Well, we're going to be here for a while, obviously.
Whatever you need.
Right now, we're just locking it down until Tyson said he's almost here, and detectives will be up here shortly. So.
We have one to take right now.
Well, I shouldn't say detained. We have one that came up, and Ryan was in the middle of something, so he stashed him away. I think Nunes is interviewing him right now, his ex-boyfriend. Looks like that's where those go, Ryan. That's where those footprints go.
Right down here. Yeah, they wrap around that log and cut back.
All right, that's pretty much where we're going to stop. His report seems to be pretty accurate to what's going on. I just still question, like, I don't understand why they had to go in the house so much. I don't know why they felt the need to walk around all over the place. Like, okay, maybe for the guy that was trying to get, like, the photos and stuff done, if that was really like part of what they do is have somebody go in and take initial crime scene photos of their own that's not ISPs, okay. But why did he need a chaperone? Why did he need somebody to come and open the door for him? Is it because he had the phone in his hand so there was no contamination? I don't see how that would have worked when Gunderson had shit in his hands too, including his flashlight. I don't know. All the walking around through the house is just too much. It's just way too much. It's way too much. I forget how much they actually walked through that damn place. That's a lot. It is super a lot. I filed a couple of the FOIAs that we wrote down from going through the inventory list. I have not received anything back in way of trying to figure out if they have anything or not. Now, one of them that I submitted when it has to do with those 4 other case numbers, like 4 other crimes, I guess, or calls, because one of them is a welfare call, that are apparently like related incidents. That one, they must have opened and started doing some stuff on them, which they would have to because that's their case numbers. So it's very easy for them to find it. They can't play games with it. It has like a price of like $13 and some change so far, but I haven't gotten an invoice for anything, which means they're not done. So that's just for like whatever they've already done so far. I also filed another FOIA request for a couple of things today with the Idaho State Police, Latell County, a couple of different things. Like I said, I'm going to go live tomorrow morning fairly early. I'm going to try to, from now on, do 3 lives if possible on Tuesdays and Thursdays, since those are my main during the weekdays that I'm off and I can do whatever. And there's a lot to catch up on and a lot of stuff that I don't want to fall behind on. So I'm just going to utilize those days as we're going to get shit done. And at 9:45, 1:45, and 8:15 are like my times for tomorrow that I have written down. So 9:15, we're going to go over a couple of things in way of the FOIAs that were sent in and stuff that we're waiting for. We're going to do probably Caleb Jacobson's interviews at 1:45 because we haven't listened to those over here yet. And then at either 7:45 or 8:15, just depends on what time we close out Caleb Jacobson's. We're going to do the second half of the Ray interview review. And I will say again, with what Ron is claiming that Ray showed them, I think it would be really fair if you're coming out and saying that you saw these things, that you produce a map that has the pinpoints on it that he showed you, where he thinks Kohberger actually went and where he's claiming Kohberger actually stopped, and where he thinks that the weapons might have been disposed of. That's a lot to come out and say. And then to say that you were shown the receipts that we're begging for what is now the claims coming out of Ray's mouth. I would really hope that they would do the right thing with that and show us what the hell Ray is talking about. Because that's crazy. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if they produce anything. Thank you so much for coming in here tonight, you guys. Oh, I didn't see this one. It's cool that I can see the gyms thing now. I really don't know what the gyms are. I have no idea what the gyms are. I have no clue. I don't know. I think we talked about it like one time a couple weeks ago, the first time that they like showed up, and I had never seen them before. I don't know what this is, but it is interesting that they've updated it now to where I can see it because I could never see it before. Now see how it's like a blue thing over on this side? I'm pretty sure that over on YouTube it like shows you the actual like icon about what is selected. I wish it did more customizable stuff like that. So I really am going to look into another thing. I heard Streamlabs is decent. I don't know. We'll see. I don't really like learning something new, but you know what? I'm going to have to eventually. I've been complaining about StreamYard forever. I need to actually do something about it. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Thank you so much for those who joined tonight. I very much appreciate that. And I appreciate the super stickers and the super chats and the super thanks. The members that came in here and let me know that you were here. And again, this little gem thing is cute. I'm not really sure what it does, but it's cute nonetheless. So again, thank you so much. Did you see Connor's post? No, I did not. I mean, I saw that there was another interview today, but I did not see a post from Connor. Let me look. Let me open this. Just from glancing at, and thank you for the 199, Kim. Just from glancing at it, it almost looks like they're trying to pull the same shit with him that they pulled with someone else. I need everyone's opinions and thoughts. I requested the file called I Am Pain by Conversation, and they said it would be about $30, and now they're saying it's about $105. I paid the $13 deposit, and now they want $90 more. I think this file could be very interesting because the defense requested it. That's crazy. See, the FOIA, I'll donate something on behalf of the channel either tonight or in the morning. Here's this YouTube post in case y'all want to go over there and donate to this FOIA. This is interesting because The girl that's trying to get, I think she emailed me back today too. Let me check it. The girl that's trying to get the list of all the FOIAs and just like what the status are, like what was actually FOIA'd, who requested it, and what the status is. Was it denied? Was it approved? Is it pending? Was it partially denied? Like, what's the status? They originally told her it was going to be like $80 and some change, so she paid like $40-something and some change for the deposit. And then they sent her another paper that said that it was going to be like $7,000 and some change. Yeah, they sent her another one after telling her that it was only going to be about $81. They then sent another one that said it was going to be $7,168, and they needed a $3,500 deposit. Okay, so then she says she responded to them and said, because I said, I think they're confused and they think that maybe you're wanting like to pay the duplication fee for everything that's already been released, maybe what that $7,000 price is, because that's hella crazy. So I told her to go ahead and like email them and ask, like, I don't think that you understand. I don't want the actual files that, like, I don't want the actual videos or interviews or reports themselves. I just want a list. And so she said she just sent them this today. She said, "Good afternoon. I believe there's been a misunderstanding of the information I'm requesting. I would only like a list of the FOIA request made to include information such as the request number, description of the request, the current status of the request. Simple. I have included a link to the exported report from my own portal as an example of the information I'm requesting. Please let me know if this needs further clarification." They responded back a few hours later telling her that the records don't exist. It's your own FOIA request list. What do you mean the records don't exist? So I'm going to request it myself. I'm going to request it myself and see like what they say. They said something else again. They said something else again. Yeah, you need to tell them you want your damn money back. Oh, you paid the whole $80. Yeah, no, you need to tell them you want your damn money back. Yeah, well, I guess maybe it's only $7,000 now because it'll be duplication fees instead. But how the hell are you going to sit there and say that the shit doesn't exist when it's a request of the Moscow Police Department's own FOIA information? Okay, so she just sent me the newest response. Oh, hold on, let me see. Oh, I can't read the response itself because I'm not the requester. So I can't click on the view request. Like you're gonna have to open it and like send me a screenshot of what it says on the inside, because you can only view your own. So I can't see it. Someone else is in Kim's Discord is also requesting it. Yeah, how could their own FOIA list information not exist? Like, I'm sorry. How could it not exist? It's literally like I have a list of stuff that I FOIA'd. Connor has a master list that it has me getting my list together so that we can update everything. Accomplished Day has her list. Everyone, ABC has their list. Everybody has their own list. We can tell MPD what we have FOIA'd. We now have information from EWU about what they have FOIA'd. Do we need to create our own freaking list and have Moscow Police just go in and check it off? Like, that's crazy. They sent me an invoice for $2,100 for one of my requests. I challenged the invoice asking for the justification for all the attorney hours they were charging me, and they removed the charge. For the attorney fee, they removed the freaking charge? So I can just go in there and ask them, like, justify me as $106 an hour, and they'll remove it? Don't think I'm not going to try that. That's the part I don't understand, bro. That's the part I don't understand. Why the hell are there hourlies? Why are there hourlies on this? Because look at that. This is on every single one of them. And I told you guys, they have now added like labels to things as property records coordinator. That title was never there before. That title was literally never there before. That's a new like little category that they've added in there. Okay, so the update is the city does not have a list of requests. No shit, you dumb shits. We're telling you to give us a list, meaning for you to sit in there and fulfill it. You know exactly what has been requested because y'all have gone in there and billed for all of it. Oh my God. The city does not have a list of requests. You are being charged for a copy of each request and the city's most recent response to that request. The program does not have an option to export a list. Bullshit. Nor does the software cover all of the requests that we've received forward to M09903 as the software has only been utilized since the beginning of May this year. Oh my God. So they're saying that they can only give you information based off of what was already in there. The way that it sounds literally seems as if they are trying to charge you for all of the responses, including any files that were attached to approved ones. That's what it sounds like. Oh, I know. But see, I was told that if I publish a book, that there's something that I can file like with that, with being an author, and then they can't charge me anymore. So that's another reason why I want to go ahead and like literally like debunk broken plea page by page, okay, with proof, with receipts of what's actually true so that people can see what's real, what isn't, where the proof is, all the things. And if I can get that status from being self-published, I'll never pay Moscow another damn dime. Never again. And that's why they do it. That's why they do it, because I'm out of Idaho. But it still doesn't make any sense because the Idaho State Police has never charged me anything. The Idaho State Police has never charged me anything. No, because it's just a request. It's just a request portal. It's just this new portal now that we don't have to talk to Amber. We don't have to go and do an online request and fill out the form on the old website and then call Amber and give her our card number over the phone anymore. Everything's done through the portal. It's on the narrative. Oh my God. Oh my God. Girl, you just, okay, look. Okay, is this what you showed them? Did you give them the inventory report that actually shows names of previous requesters, ABC? Because that exists. Is that what you said you sent them? I know you said you sent them something, but I don't think I understood what it is that you sent them. Because if you look at the first few pages of the Moscow PD narrative, it has the names of people that up until 7/8/25 had submitted FOIAs. Let's see, what page is it? Because my name's on that damn thing. That's how some of the assholes over on TikTok that hate me so much know who I am. Yeah, on page 19 right here, it shows man, they're full of shit, ABC. It shows the name of the person that sent the request, and it shows the request number, and it shows the date that the request was made from 7/8/25 to 1/3/22. So they can't sit there and tell you that there's nothing that creates a list, because back before they had this program, they sure had a way to make a list. People on TikTok are always big mad. I don't know what the hell's wrong with them. They look like horses and they can't keep off the filters. It's ridiculous. All that brain oxygen deprivation is wild. It's actually wild. But yeah, they can't. Okay, so okay, see, there you go. Plus, they've already given us a damn list before. I can't believe how they're acting about everything. Oh my God. Talk about the shadiest of the damn shade, bro. Oh my God. Very parasocial. Holy shit. And so freaking hypocritical. It's so hilarious. So they all are like, bowing down to Christy for her stupid ass comment she made about Cyree, which we'll cover separately, plus Olivia's newest comment. Danny sent me that information earlier today. And they're just like holding on to everything that Cyree is saying, and they're like, oh, and he's saying all this stuff as he was Bryan Kohberger's defense expert. Well, so was Turvey. But because you don't like what Turvey has to say, you don't give him the same credence of being a defense expert with years of experience under his belt. But because you like what Cyree has to say, all of a sudden the same exact career, the same exact experience level that Turvey has and didn't matter suddenly matters for Cyree. That's the same way they act with me. They act like because I went to school online and didn't get to finish my bachelor's and only have my associates, they act like I have some sort of mail-in certificate, like I'm just some grifter who's just talking to talk. No, not at all. If I was on the guilter side, they'd be using the fact that I have a criminal justice degree in forensic science, associates, and got halfway through the bachelor's as a reason to listen to me about why Kohberger is so guilty. But because I'm on this side of the fence, I'm a loser. I have a mail-in certificate. I don't know shit about shit. My certificate doesn't matter. Well, it's not a certificate. It's a degree. That entire side are the most ridiculously hypocritical shithead freaking losers. And then that freaking horse-faced attorney, well, not the horse-faced girl, the attorney from New York had the nerve to talk shit about Kristen's like face on the live because of her lip fillers and shit. And that damn chick can't go on a damn camera without having 20 layers of filters on her damn face because her wrinkles are so freaking heavy. You should see the way she looks on TMZ. It looks like somebody who gave their 3-year-old a blur brush and told them to go to Happy Town. Okay? They are the most hypocritical psychopaths. And they wonder why we don't really give two shits. I only even know the crap they talk about because people email me. I literally go and click that little arrow on TikTok and that little like second option where it says not interested. And then they never show up on my feed literally ever again. I get unfortunately cursed by emails and people forwarding me their information. You know, the one that has the K-bar trashy ass tattoo as she's talking about this case and the Goncalves kiss her ass. That one. Yeah, that one. So tired of it. I'm so tired of it. Yes, the clickety-clack nail lady. She's got and there's nothing wrong with wrinkles, okay? And I'm not dogging her for having wrinkles. I'm dogging her for her being a literal piece of shit while sitting there talking all the shit behind some filters because she's embarrassed of what her face really looks like. That's what I'm talking shit about. The hypocrisy, the irony of the entire thing. It's just too much. It's just too much. Yeah, you know how many channels that you guys watch that don't ever appear on my feed because I click do not recommend channel? Y'all be talking about shit. I'm like, what do you mean? Who? I forgot they existed. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Don't run in my mouth. I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of people in their tizzy with the panties in a bunch all over Reddit and TikTok running their mouth because of everything I just said, because the haters are the first ones to be here when the button goes off. Every time. It's so funny. Oh my God. I love it. I love living rent-free in losers' heads as they live rent-free in their mother's basements. It's so fun. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get off here. You will see me a lot tomorrow. Oh, well, thank you for the $4.99, Miss Mojo. I will add that to the FOIA fund. I sure will. And I do appreciate you guys that send money over to the PayPal and the Cash App that goes into the FOIA fund. That's what makes it not impossible to pay all these damn Moscow PD prices. I am still, again, and I will say it till the end of time, Moscow PD is the only entity that has ever charged me money in way of being a police agency. I have paid for court filings. I have paid for records requests from the courts themselves. But ISP, CHP, all these other entities that are law enforcement that I've ever asked for information for have never charged me a dime. And I've gotten videos and satellite imagery and all kinds of stuff from other places too and was never charged for these ginormous files. Pullman, when they sent me a whole bunch of shit, never charged a dime. And I instantly got an email every time there was an update. I probably had like 8 different downloads of information from them by the time they were done. Never charged me a penny. Wild stuff. All right, you guys, go have a great night. I will see you guys tomorrow bright and early. I'm not kidding. I will be live at either 9:15 or 10, either 9:45 or 10:15. It will be somewhere in between there. You guys go and get some sleep. Happy Monday. Don't forget tomorrow's Taco Tuesday, and tacos are so important on Taco Tuesday because traditions make you happy. Have some whimsy. Create a Taco Tuesday for your life. I promise it'll make you so much happier. Tacos are amazing. I will see you guys tomorrow. You guys have a super great night. See y'all.